Shut up. So you told me about this story, so you intro it a little.
What are we doing? Sex in Space?
Right.
Okay. Well,
Just
basically, in the...
Whatever. My name's Jason Roach.
If that's the intro we're doing. I'm Matt.
I realized we didn't do that.
So yeah, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to bring in a special guest to talk about this topic because I think it requires a little more in-depth analysis than we usually give here on...
I know about... Well, I mean, I've seen both of them.
Of what we're talking about?
Yeah.
But not together. Well, let me just introduce the topic before we get into it anymore. Okay, so at a recently NASA's talking more and more about sending a manned mission to Mars, which of course is a really long journey. It's like, how long would it take someone to get from Earth to Mars?
I don't fucking know.
Like a really long time, like 3 months in space, at least. And then you got to stay there, and then you got to come back another 3 months. So, you know, one of the things that people have been bringing up about this is, hey, you're going to be away from Earth for a long period of time. You're going to be having men and women in a spacecraft together. They're in a tight enclosure for long periods of time. You know, is there going to be some, you know, monkey business happening?
They're sending monkeys?
No, not monkeys aren't really involved, but you got it.
Fucking... Coitus.
I was looking for a more subtle way to say it. So, yeah, basically they're trying to figure out, like, there's a whole lot of questions that come up that that we suddenly realize haven't been asked before. Like, for one, how would that even get accomplished in space? There are some physical challenges involved.
Well,
in that.
the female astronaut...
But wait, let's before we talk about it, I think we should bring on our guest.
we have an expert...
He's an expert on this topic.
Well, he's a space expert.
Okay.
And
would you consider yourself an expert on the other portion of the topic?
a sex expert? I mean, I've seen enough of it in my day. On video, live, imagined. So here he is, Mario Carreras.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To Pooh King, Mario.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Now we don't want you to get too. You need to cuddle up a little closer.
Yeah, the chair stays where it is.
Okay. So, where do we start?
Sex in space.
Yeah.
Is it... Have people had sex in space?
NASA has not disclosed any information about people actually mating in space. However, I believe that it is possible, and not only possible, it is necessary for us to continue as a race, human race. I mean, let's be honest, eventually this planet, the resources will be dried out and we will have to move on elsewhere. But the question isn't, you know, when will it happen or how it will happen, is what do we call these people? They're extraterrestrials. They're not aliens, they're not green people, but they are aliens. Am I right?
You're an alien if you were conceived in space or born or both. What if you're conceived in space and born on Earth?
Conceived in space and born on Earth? isn't that what Jesus was?
This just got really weird.
How long does it take to get to Mars?
It would be a 6-month journey, so...
Total
6 months...
round trip.
No. 6 months there, 6 months back.
Oh, man.
So you'd be gone for a year. So you could possibly have sex in space and bear a child in space. So the only problem is you would have to have doctors on hand. You would have to have, you know, place like some sort of incubation to keep the baby safe, and we don't really know exactly what would happen. But you know what we should do? I think just try it out. Send, run a sweepstakes. Have a man and a wife sign up, and they do the training. They go and do
What
it.
training?
Astronaut training. They go through the whole works, and if it fails, 30 years from now we'll have a series produced by Tom Hanks.
All right. Well, what happens? It's the key to
humanity surviving
to
in this universe.
A space society.
Well, there are other options though. There have been ideas for what they would call, I guess, a fake gravity, just kind of like you've seen it on 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it's just this gyrating.
Right, because every time you ever see something in space in a movie, there's gravity for some reason.
Right. Aliens. There's
But
gravity
for
in that.
some reason we think that is going to happen someday.
There is reason to believe that it is possible. Not currently. I would say within the next 75 or so years, it might be more of a possibility. I just do not believe that at this time artificial gravity can be achieved.
If you're an American, if you're born in America, you're an American. If you're
Right.
born in Germany, you're German. Unless you're on a military base.
Right. Now, if you're born in space, are you a Spatian?
A Spatian?
A spaceman.
Are you spacey?
You're a spaceman.
Are you Spaceys?
No, that would no.
You're of a different species.
Yeah, that would be a new species. Yeah, you're right.
Would
Would they be aliens? Is my question to y'all.
Would there be spacists, do you think?
That's a very good question.
Spacism.
Do you think that that some people would try to discriminate against people who were born in space?
and there are no laws in space at this point.
Well,
So they could just do whatever they could take away their rights in space.
Right. I suppose.
I love how far away this has gotten. We're already talking about discrimination against spaceborne people. And no one's even acknowledged that there's been sex in space yet.
And that's what I'm interested
well,
Let's do a quick panel and say if you think it has happened and we just haven't heard of it. Do you think it's happened?
in. Space sex?
Yeah. Do you think someone's actually done it and they just didn't tell us? Because I bet they do. The government does all kinds of experiments they never tell us about.
I'm pretty sure back in Space Lab 1 or back in the days of Mir, people were there for 9 months at a time. I just wrap it up space-like, that aluminum foil stuff. I don't know.
We've already talked about how dangerous aluminum can be with
Yeah.
the genitals.
It could be. It is. But, in space, you have no other option.
Then
There's
aluminum
no other-
condoms. That's what you say.
Well, you gotta look
The
at Apollo
species is
13.
doomed.
They had a box, a fucking tube, and they made the.
They had a sock.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Sort of like a sponge.
Yeah, I don't know. It can still seep through.
Space is that's where civilization has to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, bottom line, sorry space, I'm gonna fuck you up.
That's really what you want to be the last line. Try one more. Do it again.
No, you
Say
do it.
bottom line.
You bottom line.
Mario,
That's mine.
you bottom line.
Bottom line is, if we haven't conquered space yet, it will soon be conquered.
Sexually.
That's so terrible again.